I'm going to do a brief contrast between the quarter system and center to edge Pro One. What I'm going to do is just pull from the quarter system a very small slice of what occurs within the context of that system and discuss that and shoot a few center to edge shots, and then we can see some differences that emerge. In the quarter system, the first shot that we're going to look at is the full ball shot. That's the zero angle shot. That is an objective shot. It's considered to be objective within the quarter system because the center of the cue ball can be lined up with the center of the object ball for the pocketing of this ball. So now you'll notice I have another marker right up here. This is your 3/4 ball alignment. It's the 14-degree angle. Now, when I think about angles within the context of the quarter system or within the framework of center to edge aiming, I like to think of defining my angles with what occurs when the balls are butted up together. So if I take this cue ball and butt it up to this object ball, center to center, we know that's a zero angle. If I can get this butted up, that's a zero angle. So when I move this ball back here and I'm looking at center to center and I'm perceiving that, that's a zero perception. It's a zero angle perception. Now, and we know that because objectively, if we put this cue ball up here, center to center, we have a zero angle, which in this case goes into that pocket. Now, let's go ahead and get a little bit more detail out of the way concerning a couple of numbers. Let's talk about the 14 and the 15. This is a 3/4 ball alignment. It's the next reference line within the context of the quarter system, and it's a 14-degree angle. It's very close to a 14-degree angle. But in CTE, we talk about the 15-degree perception. The 15-degree perception really has nothing to do with the 14-degree 3/4 ball alignment in a quarter system. It basically has nothing to do with it. Some people think that it has something to do with it. Well, really it doesn't. Now, but let's take a look at how we get that number. How do we get that 14-degree angle from that 3/4 ball alignment in the quarter system? Well, what I'm going to do is just take the center of this ball, there's a red mark here, and I'm just going to butt it right up to this left quarter here, because that's what you do in the quarter system for a 3/4 ball shot. You line up the center of the ball to that left quarter, and that's going to give you, when you butt the balls up together, that 3/4 ball hit. That roughly, very roughly, close to it, 14-degree angle there. Now, notice that my perspective on this 14-degree angle has me right behind the center of this cue ball. I'm behind the center of the cue ball. Not behind the center of the object ball, but behind the center of the cue ball. Now, as I study that very carefully, and I look at the right edge of the cue ball from here, the right edge of the cue ball is leaking out slightly past, very so slightly past, the right quarter of that old centennial ball that's marked at the quarters. So, my brain understands that if I perceive the center of the cue ball lined up to that left quarter, and I could shoot the ball in such a way that they butt up that way, then the exiting of the balls is basically going to give us a 3/4 ball hit, 14-degree type angle. There's other factors, but we're just going to narrow our discussion here. Now, how do we get the 15-degree perception within the context of Center to Edge Pro One. When I back up and look at my 14-degree perception again, as I mentioned, the right edge of the cue ball is slightly past the right quarter of the object ball. So I'm going to manufacture a 15-degree perception here from this ball address position. I'm going to go in and slightly move the cue ball to the left. To the left. We did have a 14-degree angle. I moved the cue ball to the left. Now, as I come back and look at this slightly adjusted cue ball, the right edge of the cue ball is perfectly perceptually in line with the right quarter of the object ball. So now, instead of a 14-degree angle butted up together, we have a 15. So I could go all the way through these and explain them to you, but like I said, I'm just pulling out a cross-section of the quarter system so I can do a contrast. And I may do follow-up videos, not for sure, but at least I've got a part 1 section here if I don't do any other follow-ups. Now, so when I pull this ball back to here, and we're looking at a zero angle shot, what happens in the quarter system is that as this cue ball is moved a little bit to the right, now the quarter system player is going to look at a zero full ball hit alignment in order to make their judgment on how much to cut this ball. And that judgment is going to be based on, lots of experience with a zero angle shot, and then they'll make their adjustment in order to make that slight cut. And that's going to occur all the way up to about halfway between the zero angle shot and the 3/4 ball alignment. So even up to here, a quarter system player could still reference the full ball hit, the zero angle shot, in order to make their adjustment for cutting that ball in. Now, I want to go ahead and make another point while I'm here with this objective shot, this zero angle objective shot. In order for a person to move from ball address into full stance, even for this objective shot, we know that the V is going to be center to center. The V should slide. The hand should move into the perfect position for this objective shot. So it should be something like this. The hand should hit the table and slide into the perfect shot. And why is that? Because it is just simply too random to think that your hand is going to drop on the table in the perfect position to make that shot. There's going to be some movement to occur, even if you're shooting an objective shot such as this. Now, in center to edge aiming, I'm going to set up this zero angle shot again. And I'm going to use a 15-degree perception. In other words, I know what the 15-degree perception is. I just explained it to you. I'm going to perceive the right edge of the cue ball at C and a center to edge perception. There's no other place that I can be other than right here to see it. I can't move any at all. If I do, it's gone. So I'm sort of at the... I've sort of come full circle with center to edge aiming. I've been working with it for several years, so I know my visuals in full stance now. They're as objective in full stance as they are in at ball address. I'm not for sure how long ago I could have actually known that or been aware of that, but this is just something that's deepened as my involvement, use of the system has occurred over the years. So there's a 15-degree perception. Now I'm going to slide in to the perfect 15-degree perception. Then I'm going to pivot to center, and there's the shot line right there. Now I'm going to move this cue ball here. You see, in the quarter system, the only objective shot you have is this one. As I move this ball to the right, I still have an objective shot because I have the 15-degree perception to work with, right edge to C, center to edge. So I slide into this perfect perception right here. There's the perfect 15 right there. Just as if I'm on a 0 in the quarter system, I'm on a perfect 15 here for CTE. So I turn into dead center. Now, I can move this ball up here a little further. I'm still going to have a 15. Whereas, it doesn't matter where I put it. Whereas in the quarter system, every single time you move this ball a tick, you got a different shot. You got a different feel, a different adjustment to make. So once again, I'm going to slide into the perfect 15. There's the perfect 15. Now, once I pivot to center cue ball, there's my shot. That's it. So that's going to occur all the way up to here. I can do it again. Objective 15. If I'm in the quarter system, I'm just going to have to guess based on a 0 angle shot, or in this case, based on the 3/4 ball alignment. So there's my 15. So in the quarter system, once you get past halfway or at halfway to the 3/4 ball alignment, then the quarter system player will start referencing the center of the cue ball to this left quarter instead of center to center. Again, the quarter system player is going to get very used to this 3/4 ball shot and then make their adjustments off of that. So it's just guesswork around that one line that you have as a reference. Now, as we get up to the actual 14-degree angle here, this is a known angle because it's been set up and it's real close to 14. It's real close. So I could shoot this ball lined up from the center to that left quarter, and I could pocket that ball very nicely. But you know, on a table, angles are invisible. You can't see angles. I can line up the cue ball and the object ball, and I can aim center to that quarter, and that'll give me a 14-degree look at the shot. But I can't see the angle on the table, so it's going to be hard to know if that alignment works precisely or not. So it's guesswork and it's feel. So in the quarter system, all of these shots are individual adjustment shots based on either the 0 angle or based on the 14-degree 3/4 alignment. Now, right here at this actual 3/4 ball shot, 14-degree angle, I'm going to use a 15-degree perception. Objective 15, turn to center, there's my target. Now, this is your 15, and this is basically your 30 about right here. So I'm not going to shoot any of these shots. I don't want to get too drawn out into this. If I decide to do a part 2, I will. But this is your 15, this is your 30, this is your 0. So even when I move all the way up here to the actual 30-degree angle, the half ball hit in the quarter system, I'm still using an objective 15-degree perception. So in the quarter system, I'm sure I could establish well beyond 100 shots from here to here. In CTE Pro One, they're all the same. They're all 15-degree objective perceptions. So I'm going to shoot this shot again, and this is the 15-degree perception for the 14-degree angle. So I understand in the quarter system what creates a butted up ball from center to the left quarter. We're going to call it a 14-degree angle. When I make that little adjustment with the balls butted up, that allows me, within the context of CTE, to see the edge of the cue ball at the edge of that object ball. So now my visual intelligence, even though it can't see angles on the table, when I step up to this shot and I see the right edge to C and center to edge, my brain recognizes that alignment. And it's objective, because this right edge is to this quarter, this center is to this quarter. And there is no amount of slight movement that can be tolerated within that visual perception. So once I have that 15-degree perception right there, that's it. There's not any other way to line up on that ball. If I go a little bit right or a little bit left, I'm going to lose center to edge. I'm going to lose my alignment to the quarter. So once again, I'm going to slide right into this perception, which is a 15. And then I'm going to turn to center. So every one of those shots were shot, every one of these shots were shot objectively, as if they were all zero angle shots. So I just wanted to, it was requested of me to do a video concerning the differences between center to edge aiming and the quarter system. And I think I've made it fairly clear here that the differences are perceptually much different. The actual angles are much different. You know, when I set up on this shot right here, and I set up these two balls here, this old Centennial ball, and I set up on a 15-degree, and I set up on a 15-degree perception here. There's the perfect 15-degree perception. I've got a left edge of the cue ball fixed and a right edge of the cue ball fixed. And then if I study the center of the cue ball based on this fixed cue ball, I'm aiming, halfway out to the edge here from the quarter, which would give me an overcut that would be, it'd be significantly past the actual 15-degree angle. So just because you're on a 15-degree perception doesn't mean that you're on a 15-degree angle. So these perceptions really have very little to do with the quarters system. Center to edge aiming is clearly a pivoting system. When I shoot a shot with a quarter system shot, I have to determine my own line. So I'm going to use a zero angle shot to make my judgment here. So now I'm going to find, okay, I think that makes the ball right there. So I found my line. Now there's the shot. And I hit it pretty good. And I expected to hit it pretty good. Now what's the difference with CTE Pro One? I'm going to go to the perfect perception. I'm going to go to the perfect perception. Now, when my tip gets to center, there's the shot line. The system took me to the shot line. Not me. I didn't determine the shot line. I went to the perfect perception, pivoted to center. That's what the system can do for you as a center to edge player. So I hope this lesson has been informative concerning the differences between the quarter system and center to edge Pro One. Thank you.